Welcome to the live stream. Let me know if the audio is good. It's looking good over there. It's looking good over there. Is it looking good out there? So welcome to Life Journey Production Studios. This is Keith, and let's switch glasses. I feel like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, so won't you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? So these are my actually computer glasses. So when I look at the monitor, I can see it clearer. But welcome to the live stream. I have been on vacation. I was gone last week, so it is good to be back. We will put the Mr. Rogers case away. Let's put the glasses away. So welcome. We're going to pop in the chat here in a minute. I see some people in the chat, so that's good. Let me give you just a little overview of where we're going to go, and then we will chat together in the chat. I think I am ready to do chat on the air here. We'll just see if things go really well. I did want to pop this up just to kind of give you guys an update. So it's great to be back. I had a great vacation, and I'm back in the swing of things. So welcome. So if you are new, I do have subscribe only chat on, so all you have to do is subscribe, and about a minute or so later, you'll be able to chat with us. We do want to welcome you into the chat. I just have that on so we get rid of some of the spam, but we welcome you. Please say hi in the chat if you haven't already. I can see we have 5 concurrent viewers, and it looks like there's almost 5 in the chat. So please chat with us and let us know. If you're just watching in the background, that is cool as well. We're fine with that, so enjoy that. So here's an overview of where we're going. We're going to talk about the new Blackmagic Design Camera app. I had a chance to use it on my vacation. I posted some videos here on the channel. I have a short, then a video of a beautiful bridge shot in the bay at Newport, Oregon, on the Oregon coast. It was just a beautiful, misty day. It's one of my favorite photographs I've taken in a while. And so if we get some time tonight, I do have my phone hooked up, tethered, ready to show you guys, though I'm not able to actually tether the Blackmagic Design app for some reason. So I have my overhead camera. We're going to look at the Blackmagic Design Camera app today. In fact, that's going to be a majority of what we do tonight. I will give you my impressions on how I felt about that app as I was traveling. And we'll talk about the cost. We'll talk about some of the advantages and disadvantages of the Blackmagic Design Camera app. And as you well know, many people were at IBC, I believe is what it's called, and lots of new products announced. I noticed the DJI announced a new Mini Drone 4, Pro 4, I think, today. I didn't get a chance to even watch any videos because I'm literally back in the swing of it. I've been driving back and forth to a little town about 50 minutes north of here, Connell, Washington. And so we'll talk about that a little bit later. I'll tell you what I'm doing up there. And then we'll talk about some covers that I have for my new sound for live sound, as well as give you a little overview of what my vacation was like. So Blackmagic Design Camera application tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about the vacation, a little bit about what I'm doing, because I literally got back less than an hour ago from being on the road, but I did get a chance to do some prep for tonight. So still image opening video is done, and I was literally working on the live stream tonight up until we went live. So welcome. I'm going to hit the record button. I'm sure you guys are going to tell me that in the chat, so I am recording now. In case I ever need this footage, we'll see. I'm just recording the main program out. So what you see is what I'm recording. I am capable of recording ISO tracks. And if you don't know what ISO tracks are, let me define it. ISO tracks are the ability to record each input on the ATEM Extreme ISO. And when it's called ISO, that means it can ISO record. Most Blackmagic Design devices, if their ATEMs, do record, except for the original ATEM Mini. It does not have an encoder in it. What's an encoder? An encoder is the ability to take the input from the cameras that you have plugged in, or a computer, whatever you're bringing into the Blackmagic Design ATEMs. And then what it does is it converts that into a code that can then be streamed online, and it uses a codec called 8.H.264, and then that is then streamed in an A10 Mini Pro, A10 Mini Pro ISO, and then the extremes, and there's other devices like the web presenter that you can stream live as well. So that's what it means to ISO record each individual track, and the ISO in the model stands for the ability to do that. So lots of new things at Blackmagic Design. I do have the webpage open, but man, we could talk all night. I really want to focus in on this camera app that Blackmagic Design came out with. We'll talk about why that's the item I chose to be on my first stream, talking about the new announcements from Blackmagic Design. So we'll get to that, but let's dive in the chat and see who is here. I think... there it is. We have Hank in the house. He was the early bird. We chatted a little bit. I do chat prior to going live. So if you ever want to just chat with me, usually I'm more available to chat than I was tonight. I was working while Hank was waiting in the wings. So it's good to have you, Hank. And I was actually telling someone about you last night, Hank, at the event in Connell, just talking about how I'm connected on my channel with people that have been in broadcasting for many, 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 many years. And if you guys don't know that, Hank's been in that for a long time, retired now. So shout out to Hank. Then also we have David in the house. So good afternoon, David. It is great to have you. Let me know in the chat tonight, David, if you have a stream or a channel. I haven't been over there yet that I think, so please let me know. So please check out the people in the chat and see if they have a channel. Subscribe if they do. Joe's in the house. Hey, Keith, how are you doing? I'm doing great, Joe. Thank you for asking. I'm a little tired, and we'll talk about that later, but I don't want to whine tonight, so I'm not going to. It's been a while. Yeah, I've been off for 2 weeks, and I streamed 2 weeks ago, but last week, Shannon and I were able to get out of town, so we went to the Oregon coast, and I didn't want to leave you guys completely hanging, so I did put up a couple videos. I have a video that I'm going to show you guys tonight, so you don't want to miss that. You need to stay live with me until we get to the end, and I promise that I'll roll this video by at least... let's say I'm going to roll this video by 5 o'clock tonight. And it's a cute video, a little history behind it. I'm not going to give anything away. That video will also launch in the next day or so on my channel, but you guys get to see it here first. It's a short video. I think it's like 4.5, 5 minutes long, but it is the behind the scenes tour of a facility that I got a chance to visit outside of Portland. And that's all I'm going to tell you about that. Yeah, I'm glad you said hello, Joe. Always, it's great to have you on the channel. Thank you for that, Hank. Audio's okay. Good to have David from down under, Australia. I am going to take a few minutes tonight to say hi to each and every one of you, because that's why I do live streams. I do live streams for the sole reason to educate. I know lots of people watch these live streams after. I see anywhere from 100 to 250 views on the live streams. I don't know if that means you guys are watching them back or there's new viewers, but I do appreciate you being live with me, and I do want to acknowledge you. David's a phenomenal photographer, and so go over and check out his channel. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And if you're watching this delayed, yeah, get over and check out David's channel. It is a great place to go. Then it's always good to have my good friend Tony here as well. Tony and I have actually had a chance to do some FaceTime. I have able to do that with Joe as well. Actually, I think we did Zoom. So got to do some collaboration. I have on a wall in here a gift from Tony. It's a picture of 1966 Batman and Robin. And so we kind of exchanged gifts. And so that was really cool to get that package in the mail. Also, Joe sent me a bunch of stuff. In fact, I'm using a free-rolled monitor right now, 7-inch monitor, literally, that was sent by Joe. This is not a sponsored video, but both of these guys have contributed physically to my channel, and I sure appreciate it. So the Batman thing is nostalgic. I love the 1966 Batman and Robin, that TV series. So that hangs on my wall just to make me happy. I like to see that. And then the monitor is bigger than my 5-inch port keys I had up there. So now I have a 7-inch monitor, and that's usually what I'm looking at. I'm not looking at the camera. I'm looking just above it at the monitor. So good to have you here. I will talk a little bit about the micro camera tonight, Joe. So I do have the page up. So we are going to spend the last 15 minutes tonight, maybe 20 minutes, talking about some of the other items that Blackmagic has available. But in about 4 minutes, we're going to roll into the new camera app by Blackmagic Design. So I hope you'll stay a part of that. Great to have Kiel here from Germany, Toto. So, or Tato, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's so good to have you all the way from Germany. Wow, that's so amazing. I'm German, just so you know. My family came here from Germany. My great-grandma Fotish came over with her father, and so I have roots in that region, that area. I live in the United States. I've been a United States citizen. I was born here, but my great-great-grandmother, she came over from Germany. So I do have roots, and I joke with people. I don't think I've ever shared this on the channel, but I supposedly have some Cherokee blood. I also have family out of Texas, and Texans think they're a country, a nationality. So I have Texan. I also have German, and I have Cherokee. So don't mess with me, is what I would say. So good to have you. I'm exactly excited. I did measure, let's see, still have that crazy issue with the Aaron Parecki's plugin. So that's all I have in the chat. Let's see if we can get this to catch up. Let me just look over here. I do see a couple more comments. I'm just waiting for it to populate over here on my chat, and it's just not doing it. Interesting. I'm not sure what's going on with the chat plugin that Aaron Parecki has given us. Let's see if it populates after I clear it. Anybody know anything about it or what's going to fix it? It seems like it populates until you start sharing chat on the air, and then it freezes up. I can see in here that David had a message and then retyped it. So good to see you back. And then Tony also said, my pleasure, Keith. Well deserved. Yeah, thank you for that. I don't know why my chat's not populating, but hopefully it will eventually do that. So what happens with this, I can't display it right now, or can I? Let me see. I think I can. I'm going to pull this up so you guys can see it. And let's see, how can I share this? It's up on my preview right now. So that's what I get, is this little message here. Let me see. Let me pull this back. I don't think. Yeah, that's not going to work. So I get this error message, and then it'll populate in. See, now I have them on here, and I can pop them up. I shared these, but so it's weird. I took it off the screen and back, and it populates. So maybe it's just going to take a little bit to do that, but I'm going to roll. So on the agenda tonight is this camera app. So what I did, I think most of you know that you can tether. So this is an HDMI to Lightning adapter. So with an iPhone, you can then take this HDMI cable, and then you can plug this into your iPhone, which I have right here. And then I can plug it in, and if all goes well, it will populate up on my screen, and it did. And then I can actually show you my screen. Let me populate it again. And let's see, channel 3. So that's what I have right now. And if I turn it sideways, you still have that. I don't know what happened just there. So I'm going to put this up on the screen with a little box here, Super Source. Let me find it here. Me and my iPhone. There we go. So it's just full screen right now. And you can see if I go to my home page, on the bottom right is the Blackmagic Camera app. So I'm going to go over a couple pages. This is the app that I've been using here somewhere. It's the Legacy Filmic Pro. It's in the first row on the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. And I'm going to tap on it, and it's going to open and watch what happens. So I have a camera, and I have it set to clean, and it will rotate. So as I turn my phone, so I can show you things in the studio, like I can show you my camera, and I think my lenses are dirty right now from being on the Oregon coast, so I'll clean those here in just a second. So I'm going to close this app. So this is the Legacy version, and that right now is the Blackmagic Design Camera app. So, but if I was to make it go full screen, it stayed on tonight. So, but I have the clean setting set on it. So I'm going to bring this over to my other camera here. And let's put my mouse there so you guys will be able to see what I see. See if I can get my exposures working here. Having issues with exposure, so let's figure out what's going on here. So I'm literally changing the ISO, so please bear with me. You just can't see it. So what I'll do now is I'm going to put this under my Canon 5D Mark III. So there you go, you have it, landscape. So I can turn landscape and I can do portrait. So it's working. So it lets me do a clean feed. And this is actually the Blackmagic Design Camera app. So I'm going to put it on my desk right here, and I'll put the mouse under it, so at least you know there's something there. Let's see if we can clean this lens off real quick. Apologize for that. Go to the Oregon coast and had the phone out today in Connell, and it was very froggy, and I think it just got dirty. So I'm cleaning it right now. That looks much better. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'll go back to Super Source. So there is my logo. So if I go into settings, and you're just going to see a blank screen, I'm going to go down to, and we'll show you all this here momentarily. I'm going to go down to, let's find it here. Please stand by. I know it's here. I've seen it 100 times. There's so many settings. Okay, so let's find it here. Audio. HDMI clean feed. So now you go back to the camera. So now I'm back on the camera, and you're going to be able to see it here, but I don't get a feed. So if I turn clean off, I don't get a feed at all, which is frustrating because I wanted to show you guys the screen tonight. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to take the phone, and I'm going to bring it onto my desk, and I'm going to change what's in box number 2. So I will fix that off camera so you guys aren't having to wait for me to do that, and we'll turn the logo back on. Turn chat off the air here. Okay, box 2 in Super Source. And just for the fun of it, I'll let you guys see what I'm doing here. So let's go, me and my laptop. So I'll go into Super Source right here, and you can see here's my keys. And so the way you find these, here's palettes, then the media player, and then the output. I'm not going to flip on that and show off my key. But under palettes, you have color generator. If I click on that, I can change the colors. Then I have Super Source, and Super Source has 4 boxes that you can make whatever source you want it to be. And then you can position them wherever you want them. Right now I have a 2-box up. So I just want to change from box 1 right here to box 2. Then I'm going to change the output. We want to show you my camera 3. And I believe right now camera 3 is plugged into, did it time out? No, box 4. So we're going to go into here, and there you go. So now you can see my phone. So let's just continue here. So, and I'll zoom in here a little bit more, and I will try to position this where you guys can see it. Let me bring 4 full screen and check my focus. There we go. That's pretty good. Okay. Sorry about my hands. They're really bad right now. Got into some pollens in the Oregon coast in the camping trip, and it just about destroyed my hands. Let's go back a little bit. Okay. So this is what it looks like. So right now I'm shooting portrait mode. So that's what portrait mode looks like. And so if I flip it, and it goes into landscape mode, and these items change. So all these different items change when you flip it where the location is. So see, now they're on the bottom. And then you have camera mode on the bottom next to that. Here's media. And so I could go down here and show you like a clip that I shot. Let's find one that's got some length to it. Here's a good one right there. So you can go into clips, go back to into camera mode, and then I have audio settings on the side. Now I have audio turned off, so we go into settings, and then I go up here to let's see, get the glare out of here. Resolution, I could change that to 4K. I'm not going to. You got codec settings up here. So if you're wondering the codecs, you have all of those codecs available to you, which is great. And again, if you don't know this app is free. What you pay for is the ability to send files up into the cloud. And so if you want to collaborate, that's really why they designed this app. So you could go shoot on your phone, you could collaborate. So you could actually be taking footage and then have someone collaborating using the cloud storage, and you can send proxies to the cloud. And there's just all kinds of things that you can do. And you have a subscription if you want to do any space in the cloud. But you don't have to do that. If you just want to shoot and use it on your phone, download the footage or upload it to Google Drive, you can do all that if you want to and not use the proxy feature. But those are the codecs that you have available to. And of course, I have the iPhone 13 Pro, so I can shoot 4K. You guys should be able to see that. 4K. Let's try to get the phone here. 4K 720p. And then I could chat with people that I'm working with, but I'd have to log into my account. And then you have settings on the bottom. And so again, we get out of that. I'm at 1080p. So I can do resolution. I can do color space as well. So I have those color spaces available. So if you want to do Rec 709, Rec 2020, or P3 D65, you can do those. Or codecs are available right there. And so I'm using Rec 709. Then you can actually do time code display. So I can record run or time of the day time code. And then you have the ability to turn time lapse. If I turn this on when I go to shoot a video, it's time lapse. I made this mistake when I was on the Oregon coast. I shot for about 2.5 hours as my wife and I were shopping in a small region of Newport Oregon, and took some really good footage, and it all was time lapse. So frustrating, but I can still use the still images from the time lapse, and I am going to put some videos together from my trip. So then you can do, if media drops frame, what do you want it to do? Do you want it to alert you or stop recording altogether? I don't ever stop recording if it drops a frame, but if you're doing professional footage from your iPhone, you may want to have that stop recording, so at least you know what's happening. And then below that, you have anamorphic de-squeeze. So if you do have an anamorphic lens on your camera, you can do attachments, different attachments for your iPhone. You can actually do that. I have attachments. I've talked more about on my channel. This is the case, so I can put lenses on here. So I have ND filters. I have a circular polarizing filter. In fact, most of the footage that you're going to see later tonight, outside, I was using a polarizer or an ND filter. I still got some overexposure because we were just on the fly. So you're going to see a little overexposed clip of my forehead in a video later tonight, but that's exciting to show you. Okay, so a normal vertical shooting mode. So if this is not on, then it's not going to automatically flip when you turn from landscape to vertical. So I leave that on. Below that is lens correction. I have that turned on. So haven't really done much research, but I'm assuming that's going to correct for, let's see, let's get that a little bit more focused. That's going to correct for any kind of lenses that you have. Let's just touch that and see what we get here. Yeah, if I turn it off or on, that's all I see. So you'll have to read the manual for that. Use volume button to trigger record. So I have that on, so I can trigger record from the volume button if I want, or you can turn that off. Lock white balance on record. So once you hit record, the white balance does not change. So keep that in mind. You do have that ability to lock it or unlock it. I think that's important for how you're shooting. And if you're going to do a professional shoot with your iPhone, you probably want to break out the outside shooting from any indoor shooting. Because again, the iPhone has a tendency, if you're just using the app inside of it, it's going to be adjusting all the time. And you may want that if you're walking from outside in the sunshine to inside, then the iris is automatically going to adjust for that. But if you want to manually adjust everything to get exactly the right exposure, exactly a frame rate that you want, shutter speed that you want, using this shutter rule, if you do that, I'll just tell you this, as far as the shutter rule goes, there's lots of people saying that it doesn't matter with digital. Other people say it matters with digital. Not interested in getting in the debate. I'll just say this. If you have an iPhone, some of the newer ones, they do great job. The video looks pretty good. If you want more of that ultra real look video, then shoot at 24p and you'll get some of that motion blur that everybody is used to when they're watching a movie. So below that, use volume button to trigger, lock white balance, mirror front facing camera. So you can mirror the front facing camera if you want to, and I have that on. Shutter measurement, so you can click on that and you have speed or angle for your shutter measurement. So if you're really technical with shooting video, you have that ability. Trigger record indicator, I have these off, but you can have it beep and flash, so you can get some notification if you are recording. So those are options. Below that, audio source. So right now I have audio off, but if I turn this on and then we go back to camera, now you can see the audio meters are picking me up. So don't want audio in tonight's live stream from this, so I had that off. So I will turn that back off. Then you have audio source, audio format. You can choose between linear PCM, IEEE float, or AAC, and I always record my audio AAC. Then you have sample rate. So you have 44 hertz or 48 hertz, and that's exactly what choices I have on my new PreSonus SC32SC board. So some of them will do 96K, and some of them have 32-bit float, like the new Rode wireless microphones have 32-bit float, so you won't have any peaking happening. You can make all the adjustments that you want later in post and not have any audio degraded because it went digitally over 0, which sounds horrible. But when it's analog and you go above 0, then it sounds great, especially in lead guitar. So, okay, so I have that set to auto. Probably would just leave that on auto for my iPhone. So you have sample rate, then you have audio metering. And this is important because if you are trying to get your audio at a certain level, then you have all these different settings. Now, if you don't know what this is, it changes the scale. So we'll go back here and I will go back up here to audio source, turn it on my iPhone. We'll go to video. So it's this graph right here. So just because it's going in the red, is it really red? It really depends on which one of those you're using. So I'm going to talk at the same level. You can see it's peaking. I don't think that audio is coming into tonight's live stream. Let me just double check. Yeah, it's not. Only have this SM7B. So we're going to go back into settings. And we'll go back down here to audio metering, and it's at -18. Let's do VU -20. And now let's go back here and I'll talk. And now it's really peaking even further. So that just changes the scale. So unless you're an audiophile or a mastering engineer or an audio engineer for video channels or television engineer, or you are TVJ, you probably won't know what those mean, or if you do, that's great, but they do change the scale for the audio metering. Okay, so we're gonna change that back. We're gonna turn audio back off again, source off, and we're gonna go down here to audio metering, and we're gonna turn it back to -18 dB. Okay, then you have focus assist. So you can do peaking or color lines. So I could turn focus peaking on. I could do color lines for peaking. You have a choice what you want. Then you go down here to focus assist color, and you can change the colors of the focus assist. So if you like red or you like black or you like white, to let you know how your focus is doing, you can change that. Let's see here. You have guides overlay, and you can do different size guides there. You can see 25, 50, 75, and 100%. And if you don't know what those guides are, that's the guides on the screen, so you know exactly where the rule of thirds are if that's what you like to use. Okay, so color guides. So now we have the HDMI clean feed. It's off. The display auto media, so that's the audio meters you saw. So if I turn that off and go here, now you see there is no audio meters on the bottom of the camera. Let's keep this on the screen there. So we're going to go back in there and turn the audio meters back on. I can turn histogram off back here again. And now you can see the histogram is missing from right there. So we'll go back to settings. We're going to turn the histogram back on right here. So you have display storage status. We'll turn that off and go back. And now you don't have the storage status down here. And you can tap and those will go on and off the screen as well. So we'll go back into settings and finish this tutorial about the settings. So you have display storage status, then you have display upload status, and you have display battery indicator. So I'm going to hit the battery indicator, go back here. And now somewhere on here, I should have a battery indicator, and you can see there's more things up here. Try to keep that in focus. So you have the millimeter I'm shooting at, frames per second, shutter speed. Next to that, you have, what is that? Iris is 1.5, and then ISO is 70, Kelvin temperature is 4710 K, and then tint is at 0. Now it's at 1 because the phone has automatic tinting built into it. But those are the only two things I have on the bottom right now. And so keep going down here. And then you have turn battery indicator back off, upload clips. You can set proxies or original and proxy. So you could be uploading the clips after you're done shooting them. So proxies would go up to the cloud and the original clip would go up to the cloud, and you better have fast internet if you're gonna do that. I have proxies only, but right now I'm not uploading them. So enable upload only on Wi-Fi. So if you wanted to upload only on Wi-Fi, you can enable that. You can save clips into app and photo library. So here's where you're gonna be able to choose where you want things to save in app and photo library. So I have them saving videos in my app so I can see them real quickly right here on the bottom by tapping that, and then they come up. So I keep them there, and it uploads in my photo library for my phone. So that's that setting. Let's continue down here. You could do just files because these phones have a file folder. So I could create a file folder for all my iPhone files, and it will go in that. And that's a little faster if you're using an adapter and an SD card to plug in the bottom of your iPhone. Then you're always transferring those from file folders, and that would be faster for you if you want to do a quick transfer using one of those adapters. So we're going to get out of that. Keep going down here. So, and then you do have auto upload to selected project, enable upload over Wi-Fi, so you can have it automatically upload to a certain project folder. Save location data to clip. So that's saving the location data on my clips. So everything I shot on the Oregon coast will have location data built into it. File name convention, you can use Blackmagic or iOS file name conventions. I haven't changed this, that's the default. So then you have file name or display a LUT, so you can actually display a LUT. You can do LUT selection, so you could load in LUTs. You can log into Blackmagic Cloud right here. Cancel. Reset Blackmagic Cam settings right there. The app version, I have 1.0.10003, and then learn more about Blackmagic Cam, which is right there. So there you have all the settings. This is what the camera looks like, portrait. This is what it looks like when you have it landscape. And so that should give you guys a kind of overview of what you're getting. I'm not sure you can change the color of the fonts on the top, but you can see if I put something black here, they're easier to see. And so now that I'm just got the camera down so you can't see anything, you can now see the readouts on the screen and what things look like right there. So I shot some footage with this. We're gonna look at that very shortly, but I wanna see if there's any questions here yet. So let's get a little closer to that. So again, that is landscape and that is portrait. That's what it looks like when you're in the portrait mode. So again, you can change what's on the bottom there. It stays like this all along. So this first selection right here is to set up like a clapper, I guess, naming the clip and all that stuff, which you have the ability to do that. Good take clips, bad take clips. So next clip, what you're shooting on, all of these different settings are available. I'm not using that, but you could even say your interior, exterior shooting, daytime or nighttime, maybe for color correcting. Those would be clues that people will be able to get. And I'm sure that's built into the file somewhere if you're using a Blackmagic design file. So we'll turn that off. Then next to that is the ability to zoom, and that's right here. So if I was to move that back, then I can zoom in and out using this dial right here, or I can push the buttons. You can see the buttons right there. I got 2 times, 4 times, 8 times. And so you can see those changing now with my mouse. That's 8 times. that is 4, well, there's 8 times, 4 times, 2 times, 1 time. And again, I'm overexposed right now because I'm messing with the settings. Okay, back to black. Then this is for your cinematic stabilizing shooting. I have it set for standard. You can go to extreme, you can go to cinematic, and you can go to off. Again, that will change the size of the frame. I would definitely be shooting 4K or 1080p and realize that there is some cropping, but this is the stabilization built into the newer iPhones. And I have the newest iOS 17 loaded in. So I updated that yesterday or day before yesterday. So you can go into cinematic, you can go into extreme. Then over here, I have the ability to change focus. I believe that's what this is. Let's see if we can correct the ISO here. Why is it going so high? It was maxed out. So let me get back down here and let's go back to this. And so this is focusing, I believe. No, this is ISO changing right there. Put that back down. ISO changing right here, scrubbing it. I might be wrong about that. And then here's focus right here. Set to auto, manual focus, auto, tap on, tap off. So again, all kinds of control in this app. Take auto off and go manual focus, right? Focusing on my keyboard. ISO is still high. Let's bring this down a little bit before it starts flashing. Go back here. Again, auto back on. And then the last one is the different options. Here's LUTs. Here's zebras. That's a frame. I can size it. Can change it this direction. Can have it set so that I can do my framing. So all kinds of crazy settings in here. I'm not sure what this little icon does. I haven't had enough time to play with it, but it sure does something. I want to turn these off. I want to turn these off. Turn these off, on. So there you go. Get this in camera. Guys getting that? Yeah. And then LUTs, you got them off, on. So we're going to go back over here, turn this off just by tapping. And turn those on. And you can see now I've got focus peaking showing up. And I can change colors in the settings for focus peaking. So that is focus peaking happening right there. So again, we'll walk through these again. Let's turn focus peaking off. Where is it? Right there. Turn that off. Again, it's right there. Just tap off, on each one of these. Off, on, off, 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 off. So they're all off now, I think. Off, off, off. That's why you'd want to have that reset available in the menu. We'll go back into settings to see if we missed anything else. And no. So open Blackmagic Design Cam settings. So you can just tap on that and you can get into your actually settings. You want to have access to your microphone, access to your camera. You can do it right from the settings inside the app and go right to this page. We'll close that and go back into my app. Where is it? It's my camera app. There we go. Back in the camera app. So, portrait, landscape, we've pretty well rocked this party. And you can see at the very top, all of the stuff, pretty good focus right there. So take a look at that. I'm going to snap. Let's get that in focus. I'm going to go in here to my media pool and empty a slot here and hit snap still. I like that right there. Snapped it. So that still image I just took, here it is over everything right there. And I'll put my logo back in that box. So anyway, so that is the new Blackmagic Design iPhone app. That's a lot of work to get all of that to you guys and out there into the real world of live streaming. So absolutely love it. I shot with it, and we're going to go into the chat, and then I have a little video sample of me using it. You're going to see me have overexposure, but you're going to see this app in video that I'm going to show you guys tonight. It is a premiere video for my live stream guests, and you can also go over to the channel if you're watching this delayed and probably see this in one of my playlists. But let's get back into chat on the air, and let me just do this first. Okay, let me get into the chat here with my mouse. There we go. I'm not sure what that means. So Tony says the new Blackmagic Design micro camera has his attention. Okay, we'll come back to that. Your content is very good. Hey, welcome to our live stream from Brazil. That's great to have you. Aurora, it says, nice Brazilian. What does it say here? Your content is good. Thank you very much for that compliment. I will take it. And I appreciate it. Welcome to our live stream, and I hope you will subscribe and enjoy some of the other content on the channel. If you've been looking for help about the HyperDeck, that's probably one of the things I specialize in, both the older version of the HyperDeck and the newer HyperDeck, so check that out. Thanks, David. I appreciate it. Eric, thank you for joining me as well. Go over and check out Eric's channel. He's convinced the app works. Yeah, I like the app. It's like anything else. It has a learning curve, and I dove right in. So I actually shot with it on my trip on vacation last week. Okay, so Blackmagic Cam is an open declaration of war on Filmic Pro. Yeah, so let's talk just a little bit about that. That's a great comment. I appreciate that. Filmic Pro obviously went to a paid subscription plan. So if you get the newest version of Filmic Pro, it's loaded, and they're charging you for that now, and you got to pay monthly or yearly. And I bought it originally. That's why I used the legacy version. So if you already bought the legacy, it was like a one-time fee. They're not doing any more updates to it, but I can still use the clean version of that live. But I don't have to now. I have downloaded the Blackmagic Design application. I will probably not ever use Filmic Pro again, except for I like to be able to do clean or not clean and show the screen. I had to use my overhead camera to show you guys all the things on the screen. For doing demos and training, Blackmagic Design, if you're listening, and they probably don't tune into my channel, but if you are, please fix that. I want to be able to show the dirty screen to my listeners and to my channel so I can show how things work without having to use my overhead camera on the desk. Just makes it way easier just to hook it up. And be holding it in my hand, and you guys are seeing what I see on the camera. And even if I'm moving it, only the background, what I'm shooting moves, but the display stays static on the screen. So Eric says, I'm beginning to think now the old phrase, the best camera is the one you have, and the one you have is an iPhone and a Blackmagic Design Camera app. Well, yeah, that could be a live stream in itself. If you want to shoot with your camera, if you're spending $1,000 on a new iPhone or an Apple Pro or something like that, I mean, the best cameras that Apple has goes on the phones, and I love shooting from my phone. I first live streamed from a phone. I never had a Blackmagic Design item. I didn't own any of that. When I worked for an RV company, I would hook my phone up to a little Rode lab mic that plugged into it. The first phone, you could go into the 3.5 millimeter jack. Then I had to buy a lightning adapter and plug the TSSR into that. And then that would then plug in lightning into my new iPhone. But then that used the lightning port, which was a better conversion, digital conversion. So you had better audio. And then they had to change, Rode had to change their mics and make them even better because now there was a better signal going into a phone. So again, the iPhone has the ability to receive great audio. You have the DJI mic kit. You have the new wireless Go microphones. Now you have 32-bit float. I think in reality, Blackmagic Design is trying to get that iPhone user as well. They may never get a camera, Blackmagic Design pocket camera or the new camera that we'll look at here in a minute. So with that said, why not shoot from your iPhone? I don't have the adapters in here, but I did a video here on my channel about my light kit. I have a 3 to 5, I think, or 3 to 5. Yeah, 3 to 5 ND filter variable. I have a 6 and 7 variable. I have a circle polarizer. It goes over all of the different cameras because I have 3 different cameras. And the cameras just got even better on the new iPhone. My son-in-law just bought it, and we were playing around with it on Sunday night late as we were getting ready to watch a delayed football game because I was up in Connell. So when I got back, we hung out, and I got a chance to see the brand new iPhone, which was really cool. And then Dominic, who is going to be doing some slow motion, time lapse, all that kind of stuff. He now has the brand new iPhone as well. So he's going to be able to do some pretty incredible video editing and all that because we'll eventually get his channel up and running. So now I did make a promise tonight that I'd roll this video before 5 o'clock. So I'm going to keep that promise. Tony says he agrees with Eric, iPhone and Blackmagic Design Cam app for the win. Yeah, so why don't you just get the adapter? Again, it looks like this. And you have the HDMI port, lightning this way. You can also buy one that has the USB-C port for the newer iPhones and the newer iPads. And then you can go from your iPhone into a Blackmagic Design ATEM. I would still say get an ATEM Mini Pro at least so you can record, you can have the codec, you can also stream from it. You have the ability to bring your laptop in, you have picture-in-picture, you have an upstream key, which would be great if you want to add a HyperDeck. So you could have your iPhone going into channel 1, which is the fastest channel. So you would use that using this adapter and an HDMI cable. Then the next one, you can use your laptop in, Mac or lap, whatever you have, PC. Then the next two would be the fill and key for your HyperDeck. So then now you could do animated graphics with good key. You could do all of those cool techniques, you know, all the cool things that you can do with animated graphics. You could also play videos through channel 3. And then 4 would just be your key channel. And that would fill up all 4 of your inputs. And if you want to have more control and more inputs, then you'd go to an extreme. And then there's other choices with Blackmagic Design software. Or just get a web presenter, Pro or 4K, and use your phone. Use your iPhone directly into that and go streaming. So you just won't have all the abilities that you can do with an ATEM, bring in other other sources in, so keep that in mind. But an ATEM Mini Pro, like I have in the garage studio, is great. So you can use it on location just to record whatever you're doing on location and then stream it later. Or you can choose to stream and then not have a recording later. But if you get an extreme or extreme ISO, you have 2 USB-C ports, so you can record, even record ISO tracks. And then you have another USB-C port out to be able to go into OBS or something like that, and record in OBS on your laptop. So again, if you're going to plug a disc in it, you need to use that USB-C port, but you can still stream through a CAT cable. So even with an ATEM Mini Pro, you can record through the USB-C port to a scan disc like these. This is the over 1,000 megabyte version. This is an older, I think 750 megabyte version, and that's the write speed. So you can use one of these, you can record out the USB port, and then you can be streaming through an Ethernet cable. But you can also use the USB-C port if you're not going to record, and you can use your phone as your internet source. So if you have really good internet, then you could actually go to a lower resolution on your ATEM and stream using your phone. And I'm going to attempt to do this at location. So let's roll this video. I promise the clock's ticking down the last few seconds. So let me turn chat off the air and let me show you. I got to go to the North American Bigfoot Research Center, and I got to meet Cliff. Let's roll the video on my vacation. Here you go. We're at the North American Bigfoot Museum, and we met Cliff, so from Finding Bigfoot. So let's go inside and check it out. Well, there you have it. I've never really talked about Bigfoot here on my channel because it's not what it's about. But you know, years ago, prior to what happened in 2020, there was a series called Finding Bigfoot, and I got a chance to meet Cliff. Again, I think you guys saw that picture. Let's see, it's on cam. What am I in? Preview. I'll pop that up there again. There's me and Cliff.
North American.
It's going to restart that video, so I'm going to turn that off. But let me do that again. Oh, man, bummer. So I don't have that still image other on the video, and it already restarted the video. But so on that series, there was 4 people, and they went all around the Northwest. They went to other places in the United States looking for Bigfoot, and it was called Finding Bigfoot, and Cliff was on that show, and he started this North American Bigfoot Research Center, and it's in, of all places, Boring, Oregon. Now, we went to the Oregon coast, and Thursday we came back through, stayed at McMinnville, Oregon, because we didn't want the full 5-hour drive home. Thursday, we wanted to stop in and around Portland, and one of the stops was the research center, because I thought if I was ever over in the Oregon coast again, I would go back that way from Newport, Oregon, and I did. And so we got a chance to go by. Now, this is owned and ran by Cliff, but normally he has staff, but they were home sick, and he was covering the desk, and I told Shannon, fat chance he'll be there. And sure enough, we walked in. He's a great guy. He answered all our questions. And if you watch any of the other Bigfoot videos or programs that are available out there, a lot of times you'll see him as an expert that they'll bring in to look at footage or look at a video and say, does this look realistic or not? Is it a fake? And so you go to the Bigfoot Center. It's already been outgrown. A lot of people that he has a relationship with has given him displays. So there's a lot of research available in the center. In fact, his staff guy was building new displays. And so when you go through there, you're looking up high and down low. And all of that was shot on the Blackmagic Design Camera app. And we're going to move on, obviously. But right there on my phone, tap on it. And I shot all of that footage. Outside, I had a filter on, but that video got overexposed. And I didn't have time to do more than a couple takes. And all of them were overexposed, so I used them anyway. But that video is going to be available here on my channel. You can watch it back. I did see I had the logo at the beginning of it, so you can watch the cleaned, non-logoed version here on the channel later. So I hope you enjoyed that. Not going to spend any more time on that, but just shared little bits and pieces of my vacation. So that's footage you have not seen. So you got to see it here tonight first. And watch that video here on my live show. So again, if you don't believe in Bigfoot, that's fine. If you believe in Bigfoot, that's fine. I'm not here to get in a controversial conversation about if I believe it's real or not real. I just watched that series for a while, and we used to joke as a family, have they found him yet? Have they found him yet? And that's why at the end of my video, I said, Cliff, I found Bigfoot, and there's that photograph of me there with Bigfoot, and I don't even, yeah, I have it. I'll pop that up. So this footage right there. So when you walk in, this big Bigfoot's there to greet you, and that's supposed to be a recreation of a Bigfoot that's been filmed, evidently, and be it to scale as best of their knowledge, even though research says that those who believe that Bigfoot exists, they're anywhere from 6 foot to 10 feet tall, so whatever. But I just thought it was really cool. I enjoyed Cliff. He actually has an anthropology degree. He's very intelligent. He loves to talk. Shannon and I both asked him questions. She was firing questions. She fired as many questions at Cliff as I did. We got there pretty early. They opened from 10 to 5 o'clock, 7 days a week. There is a fee to go into the museum, not to come in and talk to Cliff or shop in the store. There's no footage of the store. That's what you come into, and then behind the main desk is an entrance to the research and the displays that are in there. So quite fascinating. So let's get back to chat here, and we will close that one. Tony, not to put down anyone who buys a clean HDMI, Pentax, Blackmagic Design, Canon, Panasonic, Sony, etc. But if you always have a slightest hesitation to pull out the big cam, iPhone IS, the cam you have. Yeah, so use the camera you have. Totally agree with that. You guys are talking back and forth. I'm just going to skip down here. Again, it's not populating, so let me look over here in the chat before we move on to yeah. Here we go. Yeah, well, however you want to look at it, they had hair samples that are not recognized. So there's been quite a few hair samples found, footprints, fingerprints. There's in Idaho, there's a researcher that works at the campus there, Idaho College. He's been doing research. He's in a lot of the videos. He swears that some of the footprints that he has in his samples now are legit as far as structure. They also compare it to fakes. So again, interesting, the whole Bigfoot thing. So I'm assuming, Eric, you're talking about the Blackmagic Design Camera. So yeah, iPhone, you know, it has its limitations because the chip size is so small. It doesn't compare to my Canon cameras, my EOS R or my Canon 5D Mark IV. Pretty competitive with my older Canon 5D Mark III, which I still have as my Skycam, my overhead camera. So before we get into, let's just tease this a bit here. We're going to look at this here in just a second. So I want to talk about this studio camera 4K G2. But this is the announcement page. You can see the Blackmagic Design Camera app, the 4K G2 studio camera, the new studio camera 4K Plus, the new Blackmagic Design Cinema Camera 6K, which is pretty intriguing for a camera. Then you have the new 1ME advanced panels and the new Video Hub 80 by 80 12G if you need a Video Hub 12G. So if you haven't checked out any of the announcements from Blackmagic Design, please do that. But I have something else I want to do here real quickly because she deserves this. So let's see. I'm going to do, let's go back to, where is that at here? Okay. Where are you? I'm looking for a super source. There it is, me and my iPhone. I want to change what's in box 2 here to my Skycam. So let me turn Skycam on and go to a location here. There we go. Now let me switch to Skycam here in box 2. Again, I'll bring this over and share it with you all. Go box 2, and we're going to share my laptop here. So what I'm doing is changing, again, box 2 here in Super Source. This is a Super Source display. You click on it, and it brings it up. I'm using a 2-box again. You can see the 2-box on the screen. My background is this background right here. I'm using it right here in my media player 2. If you have an ATEM Mini or ATEM Mini Pro, ATEM Mini Pro ISO, you only have one of these media players. So if you want to have a logo on the screen like I have, you have to choose between a logo or a background, and then you would have to just use the background image as background, and then you could do a box over top of it, but Super Source is only available in the bigger ATEMs. So again, so that's my background, and where you can find the background setting is right here under Art, and you can see I've chosen Media Player 2, and it's in the background. Watch what happens if I click on foreground. You just got the picture in the foreground, I'm behind it, and now I'm back in front of it. So if you want it in the foreground, so I could make this box that I'm in transparent and then in a graphic and put my name below it. I could have my guest in that box and have their name below it in a graphic. And if that was true, then I would move this layer to the front. And because it has transparency, I would put their picture behind it and it would show through. I don't have that set up tonight, but that's why you'd use a foreground image. Right now, I'm just using a background image. I can also put my hyperdeck behind me. So watch, I'll click on this box. I'll go up to output 7, and there's the video behind me. So I can have a video behind me if I wanted to.
So let's go inside and check it out.
And that starts playing. So don't need a video behind me. I want Media Player 2 behind me. So that's what I'm doing. So we're going to change box source 2 to, what was I doing here? I was going to show you guys, what was I going to do? Old age. And take a drink, take a break. I was going to show you my Skycam, and it's live. So let's do that. So my Skycam is in OBS on my PC. So there's my PC, and that's my Skycam. So I just wanted to give a shout out to my mother-in-law, Sharon. She made these covers for me. So I'm going to turn around. I don't have my lapel mic. So I'm going to turn around for a second and reach over here. This is a new Cat E6 cable, the kind you use for digital snakes. And I'm going to try this out. So I have 250s and an adapter. I had the adapter on the show a couple weeks ago. This just came out of the bag, just came UPS from Amazon. The only negative review is it's pretty stiff, so you got to straighten it out when you get it out of the bag. And then I don't know how you're going to coil it, but again, I bought this as a backup in case I need to go further. I won't need this at my shoot, but the reason I'm using the covers is because if I leave my sound system somewhere overnight, I want to cover it up and I want to be able to keep the cables hooked up. So pull this off. This was a project that my mother-in-law and I worked on. These are logos that she has. She has an embroidery machine, amazing. So she embroidered these on the same material that this is made out of. We purchased the material. She sewed them together. We had to do patterns and shape them and everything. And then underneath here, because there's a handle, is a hole. So I'm hiding it with my logo, and that means I can lift this and get to the handles. So I'll demo this one. There's the handle. I can reach down and grab it. And on this one, this is a 15-inch Yamaha with an amp in it. I have another logo on that side. So I can advertise for my company, Life Journey Productions, and I can have those speakers covered when I'm not using them. So these are going to a live event. Let's change cameras here. This is going to a live event tomorrow. So I'm loading up tonight. Let me turn my logo back on, move this over. So I'm loading up tonight, going back out there to Connell, and I'm going to be running sound from Wednesday night, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at a live event using my PreSonus StudioLive board for the very first time. And I think most of you were able to see this board, but that's the board I'm going to be using. It's got 32 channels, 16 on a page. You see all the mixes on the left. You see the master fader on the right. There's all kinds of features in this device. Sorry, it's over top of me. And then those speakers, the smaller speaker are these 12-inch powered monitors. And I don't have a picture of the other speakers ready to go. tonight, but I wanted to just give her a shout out and say thank you, Mom, so much. If you watch this later, thank you for helping me build those. They're about $100 a piece for covers. I didn't want someone else's logo when I'm out doing projects. I also wanted these monitors to be still out in the venue with a cover on them. So the monitors I will just turn up on the side and then completely cover them, including the cords that keeps all the dew and all that that's gonna come on, because I'm under a big tent and it is fall in the Northwest. So it was very damp in there, and so I just want to cover them. If it gets really, really damp, then I'll throw everything in my SUV, leave the cables there, wrap them in plastic for the night, and then with gaff tape, and then the next day take everything out. So the electronics will come home with me possibly, but I got the covers just in case. She also made me a cover that goes over the board that has my logo on top. So I have 5 total covers, 3 monitors, 2 speakers, don't have any subs yet, as well as the PreSonus board. She made me a nice cover for that. It fits too tight to put it on with the cables in the back, so I'm not sure how I will use that, but it's perfect for putting it inside my rig because it protects everything on top because it's really good, thick vinyl. So I spent about $55 plus the things that she needed for embroidering. I think she invested another 30 or 40. So I bought her a new charger for her iPad, I think that was like 40, 50 bucks. So I paid for the fabric. She did all the labor for free. And I saved, if I'd bought covers, whatever they have available, I would have had at least $100 per cover or bag invested. And so I have a little over, probably a little under $100 invested. And I have 5 covers, including a cover with my logo on it for the PreSonus board. So wanted to give a shout out to Mom. And so I have done that. So hopefully I will not get in trouble and let her know that I appreciate her. It was a lot of work. I will be getting another monitor and a couple subs eventually, and we'll be building covers for those as well. I just haven't decided when or where I will get those subs from yet. I'm not even sure I'll use Yamaha subs, so we'll see. So, okay. Let's close out tonight with the topic that everybody really wants to get into, and I believe that that's Blackmagic Design. Let me just switch here real quick. I'm going to use my phone. I want to get into the chat because I feel like this is not populating correctly. Okay, so I'm just logging in here. If I can find my YouTube icon, I have so many apps on my phone. And once you add a new app, everything goes to a different place. So here we go. We get to my channel. Let me get to my live video here. Get to listen to a advertisement. Skip that ad. Okay. Thank you, Akil. Nice show, Keith. Man, I wish you would, Toto, I wish you would change your name on your logo so I don't keep calling you your channel name. But thank you for that compliment. Okay, so let's just talk about these cameras just for a minute and then chime in. What is your favorite new product? Here's the question. What is your favorite new product that Blackmagic Design announced? Is it the camera app? Is it the new Cinema 6K? Have you watched any of these videos or not? Let me know in the chat. Are you really super into this new camera? I am. I think when I do Studio B, I might consider investing in a couple of these. Again, my Studio B is designed for me to be able to bring in a client, do a whole podcast, multiple cameras, everything, just flip a switch, turn it on, use probably an ATEM Mini Pro ISO in there. We'll see. And make it as simple as possible to do a podcast. So you have video and audio and then charge for it. So they come in and they shoot it. They might do 3 in a row or 4 in a row. It might be an all-day shoot, but I want to diversify my company. I like doing those kind of projects. I want to do live sound at events. Plus, I'm volunteering at some events like I am this week at the tent event, but I'm volunteering mainly because I can also practice using my gear, and there's no better practice than live, and they can't be mad at me if I mess something up because they didn't pay anything for it. But this new camera is pretty cool because you can control it really simply over SDI. Now, I don't have any ATEMs with SDI inputs. I have HybridX with SDI inputs and outputs, but I don't have any ATEMs. So you would have to invest in the ATEM with SDI ins and out. You can control all the camera functions, focus, and all of that. Then if you wanted to zoom features, then you could use a wireless zoom kit. And so I can only imagine how many cool things you can do with this camera. But in my opinion, this Blackmagic 6K for $2,500 is pretty intriguing, and here is why. The footage is phenomenal. Like this footage, if you know anything about footage, if you shot or have anybody in your circle that have shot with higher end cameras, that production shot is great. Now, obviously they're using quality lenses, and I believe this is a real shot from this camera. But if you get down here, you can see the frame, the sensor size. That's what's intriguing to me. I've kind of stayed away from these cameras and gone with Canon full frame sensors for obviously reasons. The bigger the sensor, the better the quality, the better the low light ability. So even though you could put a EOS R lens on it or a Canon lens on it, doesn't mean that you're going to get the same results on a Blackmagic camera as you can with a Sony or some of the other full frame sensors. So the fact that now they've gone full frame, I only wish this had ND filters on it. So guess what? I'm sure they're going to come out with the ND filter version. But this is pretty intriguing. But I will shout out to Tony and agree with you that with the projects that I have in mind, right, then this camera is pretty intriguing to put in the studio and mount it and just have my set up. People sit down. And I haven't quite decided exactly how I do it because with multiple clients, do I want to mess with green screen and all the lighting? I do want to have green screen ability in my studio, but I feel like, you know, that may just be dying. Who knows? I like the idea of doing fake windows in the back using some 8K TVs. So we'll see. So I don't know if you've seen any of those videos, but Potato Jet did a video. Another guy did a video where they created a window using monitor or TVs turned sideways, and then they can put whatever they want on it. And that's pretty fascinating to me. So rather than having any light coming into my Studio B, I could control what is in the background. So that would let me change sets. So for one client, it could be a skyline for the Oregon coast. The next client could be something else. So I haven't done any building yet in Studio B because I'm still doing research. And I had a funny feeling that Blackmagic Design was going to do something like this. And so I'm just intrigued. And so I have been waiting. So we'll click on this and just go in here. So here's a camera mounted for sports. Pretty intriguing because they can control it right from the booth. Color, iOS, focus, and all that stuff. And then you would be able to do maybe some kind of automated zoom, which I really believe you would need, wide shot, close-up shots. But again, if you had 12 of these cameras, you could have whatever shots you want. So for sporting events, for studios, things like that, for recording bands, you could have a nice big studio somewhere where bands could come in and you could have cameras everywhere, choosing which ones you wanted to have live, using a video hub, which ones you don't want to have live, And then if you could control all the shots from the booth, it's intriguing to me. So, so here's some shots over drums, which is really cool. I think for churches, this would be great. For concert venues, this would be great. So now we're hooking up mics and cameras as we get ready to shoot a concert. Here's the sensor size and hookups. So you do have the 12-volt hookup. You have HDMI on one side, USB-C, and on the other side, you have the SDI in and SDI out. So pretty intriguing what this camera is capable to do. But again, you see the smaller sensor, and that will change what you can do with low light. I want to say that again. That will change what you can do with low light. So whatever you have, light will be an issue if you're shooting concerts or you're shooting in a studio. So bigger sensor, less concerned with bright, hot lights in your studio. So that's why I'm wavering about what I would use these cameras for and if they would work. So more research to be done on my end. Again, here's another position. That's a great looking set. Have to give it to Blackmagic Design. Whatever they do good footage and good shots for their webpage. It's always amazing. But here you go. Exceptional low light performance is what they're saying. So it says it goes down to 25,600 ISO. So compare that to your Sony cameras, your full frame, compare that to your Panasonic, compare that to your Canon and all the other brands out there, Nikon. But there is the specs if you're into that kind of thing. So great for like kitchen shows, podcasting, demos, training, teaches, broadcast rooms, studios, radio stations, high schools, elementaries, all kinds of things, tents. You could have these mounted in a tent and use these as your cameras and stream from a Blackmagic Design ATEM Extreme ISO or just an ATEM Pro, Mini Pro. So pretty intriguing. And so here you see affordable photographic lenses. Again, when you're using these smaller sensor cameras, yeah, you don't have to buy the more expensive glass. This is my L lens, 100 mil, the first version. This is 100 millimeter. This will go down to 2.8, I believe. Yep, 2.8. So you can see the glass. This is about $1,000 lens, I think. They have a version 2 of this. So you can buy cheaper glass and invest in the controls to focus in and out. But again, I like L glass because I'm a photographer and I like really good quality photographs, but I've got some pretty incredible pictures from my iPhone on my trip because I didn't take any of these. Shannon gets irritated at me when I play photographer on vacation. So I shot everything on my iPhone. I did not take any of my Canon cameras with me. It's first vacation in years that I gave her a break. And she's been working very, very hard. And I wanted to bless her by not boring her with my photography while we're gone. But don't get me wrong. She had to stop. I took lots of pictures. And one of my favorites, let's go back to me and a logo, and then I'll come back to this. One of my favorite moments on my trip, I'm going to go to my own channel here. Where are you? Videos. I'm playing a commercial on my channel. Get the commercial out of here. Skip. Okay. So we're going to roll this video live, and I'm going to cut to me and my laptop. So this is literally footage from the Blackmagic Design Camera application using my iPhone 13 Pro. I don't remember what lens I have on here, but this is on my channel. I shot this. I have a still image of this. I can't wait to edit it. But man, this was just incredible. You watch the vehicles going across this bridge. This is in the bay in Newport, Oregon, on the Oregon coast. And there's the footage. And you can see the vehicles going by. It's going a little bit slow. Let's see. Let's crank this up. Yeah, I shot it at 1080p. But there you have it. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous footage from my iPhone. This is using a polarizing filter. So incredible. Newport, Oregon, September 20th, 2023. And this is on my channel. So again, I think I have 4K footage available of this shot, but pretty stinking amazing. So I don't know. Blackmagic Design has got my attention. And if you haven't seen any of the stuff on my channel, this stuff is on there too. Now the audio sucks, and I apologize for 2 weeks ago's live stream. Something happened with that ATEM Mini Pro right there. I was feeding audio to it from my DJI microphone. I think I had the gains too high. So, but again, if you watch 2 weeks ago's video, I was in the garage using my ATEM Mini Pro, streaming to my streaming bridge under my desk in here, bringing that in to my live stream, and I can do all that through Cat 6 cable here in the house through my network. And then I also keyed myself out on a green screen and put myself in the lower thirds to just demo some of the technology that you can do with the ATEM Mini Pro. So that shot right there is from the ATEM Mini Pro going through the ATEM Mini Pro to my streaming bridge. And literally, because I can encode and stream from the ATEM Mini Pro, I could stream right to my streaming bridge. And you can even stream to the streaming bridge in someone else's studio. So keep that in mind, one-way audio, and they upgraded the streaming bridge as well. So they have new firmware updates. And so supposedly the audio aspect of the streaming bridge is getting better. So that's also in the announcement that Grant made, I think, a little over 2 weeks ago. So showed off green screen, showed off Super Source using the Elgato new pull-up green screen that you can buy from them. And that's going to be right where I'm sitting. My back is right where the wall to Studio B will eventually be. But I was playing with my sound. That board's going up there with me tomorrow to Connell, and we're going to close talking about that event. So I'm going to be using a couple Mackie speakers and a couple of Mackie subs. That's going to be the main house speakers plugged into my StudioLive 32 SC. And then I'm going to be using my two 15-inch monitors right here. Pop over to a shot of that here on my Skycam. Let me see where that's at, channel 2. What happened here? I know I'm in channel 2. That is channel 6. Where is it? PC desktop. Let's go back to me and my laptop, and I will change what's in box 2 to my desktop here. So that's the 15-inch speaker, and then the monitors uncovered. And those 12 inches can be used. They're powered. They can be used as speakers. They have a tweeter in the middle of them, which makes them sound amazing wherever you're standing. And then the 15s are 1,000 watts. So those will be the fill speakers. The monitors will be on monitors will be on the stage. Then the 15s will fill the edges. And I got the 15s because they do have some good low frequencies. And this is designed to augment this other sound system that we have available anytime we're doing things in the tent. And the way the tent things are going is that right now we're paying off this trailer and this tent. I'm just helping. It's not mine, but I'm an integral part of the details of these open air events that we're doing, and will be done after this event. So it's an important time for us to practice. But once the trailer and the tent and all the supplies that came with it is paid for, then we will be using the funds to do some upgrades, remodel, maybe fixing the trailer. We might replace the trailer. But each of these events will be paying. Like, we'll be getting some good, decent income from these events as we do them next year. And I will be getting some funds as well. So even though we're volunteering right now and I augmented my gear with the sound system, I will be able to add more pieces to it in the springtime And these events will also help me pay for Studio B. And so I'm pretty excited about this. So that then will get me to Studio B. Studio B will be designed to do all the live streaming part of the time in there, maybe part-time in here. This will become more like a man cave. That will become more like a production studio, but it will be bigger, and I can leave the set for podcasting up all the time. And who knows, I may be buying 3 8K TVs. We'll have to wait and see. So Connell, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, to do an event there in the city with some local churches that are having these services in the park, and I will be running sound for them. So, okay, let's wrap things up tonight. Let's get back to the chat. Let me turn that camera off the air, chat back on the air. And let's see, do you guys have anything left that you like to say? Let's see, shot some great, let's see. Eric Likeness, I've shot some great footage for commercials on the iPhone for a podcast I produce. It's amazing and how good the results can be. So that did not get on the air, but I will. Let's see what is going on here with chat. Try this again. Okay, technical difficulties. Where is that? Right there. There we go. So this was a chat from Tony earlier. And yeah, I would love maybe Tony to find out what video that is and be able a chance to watch it. So if you'd like to email me a link to it, I'd love to see the footage. Thank you. I will let Mom know that Tony says great work. So yeah, she did all that. It was a labor of love. And I think most of you guys know that she got a clear cancer scan, a kind of cancer that's supposed to take your life. She was supposed to be gone almost 6 months ago now. Only 3 doctors in the whole United States knew anything about this melanoma type cancer. And the last scan that she had, she is cancer free. She's still doing some maintenance drugs and just amazing. And she's getting some strength back. So what an incredible journey to be able to then have her collaborating with me and helping me build the business. I sure appreciate it. And thank you for that. Thank you, Toto, for that little deal there. The microcam seems like a good upgrade to 4K, but still the ATEMs are 1080p. Yeah. So again, until we have a, and so Tony, I'm thinking that even though I'm so Blackmagic Design oriented, if you go over and check out, oh, can't think of his name. I always forget. He's a school teacher. Now he's a full-time live streamer. He does Rodecaster Pro videos all the time. He actually came into my chat a few weeks back. Can't think of his name, but you guys can put it in the chat. But he's using an app on his PC, I believe, or his Macintosh, his M1. And so you can use a Blackmagic Design card to get 4K, I believe, and use a computer and go to 4K and use those cameras and skip ATEMs altogether. But I have so many clients and different people that want to learn how to use the ATEMs. So I'm kind of stuck there for a while, but I may end up using some software in Studio B. We'll see, because I may have clients that want 4K. So that's one of the things that I'm considering. Even though I can live stream there 1080p for my lives, I may want to be recording everything in 4K, and that's what's intriguing about those cameras as well. Let me also follow up on my last comment by saying an affordable upgrade for YouTube. Yeah, I think the biggest thing that people are going to struggle with is, cost, right? Like right now that I have kind of full-time retired and I've been focusing on this tent project. I have less clients right now paying because I'm kind of investing. It's like the business building phase. And so I could semi-retire, but I'm not sure I'm ready to do that. So I haven't made any decisions for that. I do have 401ks. I'm 62 years old, so I'm eligible to start collecting Social Security. But again, all of that's down the road. But my business, my structure, and my live streaming, my channel, and the little bit of money I get by the way, thank you for using my channel or watching my channel, because I get a little bit from the commercials, as very little, but I get a little bit, but also using the links in the description, even though I don't have any Amazon associate links in this video yet, but they will be eventually. So thank you for using those, because I do get a little bit of funds back from Amazon, and I use that to get some of the gear you're seeing. So I appreciate that. But affordability, Tony, is the conversation that my clients have all the time. Do I invest in all these cameras? I don't have unlimited funds. And they're asking me in my advice which way to go. So I have to stay in tune with Filmic Pro, iPhones, adapting iPhones into videography, because I have clients that want to use an iPhone even for podcasting audio. And then I have clients that want to use an ATEM, even an ATEM Mini without any encoding, extremes, because you can buy used ones. Looking at solutions for audio, like I'm now into higher end boards, a $2,000 StudioLive 32SC, and they go up in price from that if you want more faders and more boards. And then I have Rodecaster Pro version 1, version 2. So all of those things are a part of my channel because I have clients at all the different levels. And I encourage them to go watch the videos. In fact, in reality, a lot of the videos that I've done over the last couple of years have been for clients. Like I'm doing those HybridAct videos, not just for the YouTube audience to grow and they can use them and consume them free. I'm also doing those videos for my clients so that they can watch it over and over again, because it takes a while to absorb it. That's why I do the intricate graphs in my HybridAct series. And if you haven't watched those series, I have one on the Mini original version, the Mini Pro newer version, which has HDMI ins and outs, which is a lot easier to use for people who don't need the alpha key aspects of HybridAct. So, and then even studying things like Playout B. Playout B you can use on a Apple Pi, and as well as that. So thank you to Joe who helped me get going with an Apple Pi here in my studio. I have the older version of Playout B. I think they just released the newest version, and that is a HybridAct clone software to try to use it like a HybridAct, so you can automate it using a Raspberry Pi. I would just tell you to recommend to buy an older HybridAct Mini from someone. Get the latest firmware available for that and use it. It's just super reliable for doing key and fill. And you don't really get that from a Raspberry Pi using Playout B. It's just great for video playback, but it is an inexpensive solution. So all of that said, money always is an issue. And then the learning curve is even bigger than the money for most of my clients. Are they willing to do all the hours of research like a lot of us on this channel have done who join me live? So thank you. Appreciate that, Toto. And yeah, Tom Buck. So go over and check out Tom Buck's channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do. He's been doing some lives occasionally. That's not his thing. His videos are amazing. He loves microphones, so you can learn lots about different microphones from his channel. Lots about the Rodecaster Pro. I don't do a lot of videos on the Rodecaster Pro. I need to do more, but because Tom Buck's done such a good job, I've kind of let him have that lane. He's let me have the HybridAct lane, and so I like to support him. He likes to support me, and I have some new subscribers because on his live stream, I think a week or so ago, he gave me a shout out. So I think I had like 7 or 8 new subscribers. And by the way, just to say thank you, we are at 1.9K subscribers. We went over 1,900 last week. So thank you guys so much for helping me get there. Hopefully we'll break 2,000 here very soon, and we'll have a little party as you. It's taken me a lot longer to get to 2,000 than it did to get to 1,000. That makes no sense in the YouTube scheme of things, but I am making less uploaded videos, and that does affect the growth of just generic subscribers. I've been trying to get more committed subscribers, so I watch the algorithm of when I'm losing subscribers. So I've probably lost about 20 subscribers, 25 subscribers this last year, and it was higher last year. So again, I'm gaining more committed subscribers and I'm losing less subscribers. So that's kind of where I'm going. Yeah, Tom Buck uses Ecamm. Thank you, Tony. And Ecamm Live, he loves it. So if you want to learn more about Ecamm Live, go over his channel. There is lots of things you can run from a computer. I have a very expensive laptop that I invested in. It was over I think it was almost $3,900. It's an i9. I've had it for almost 3.5 years now. It's an Asus ZenBook Pro Duo. And now they have a newer version with the lower screen that tilts. But it has 32 gigs of RAM. It's loaded 4K screens. Again, it has dual screens, so it's quite the computer. I looked at upgrading to a new one. Just too much money. So a lot of money. So if it dies, I have my PC, but it will change the way I do chat. Now, I'm not the best chat person, so you can actually do better chat with Ecamm. So if you go over to Tom Buck's channel, you're going to see him using Ecamm. And because I use OBS and I don't get a key channel, so this is crisp because I'm using an alpha key, but I don't have that available for me with my OBS coming from my PC. So when you see the chat on the air like this, I'm not keying that out. So that's as crisp as it's going to get. That's why I have the black background. It's just simple. So there's no shadow. And even when I get a super chat, which I don't see that often, unless I do backflips on a chat or bring out rats, so who knows. But I say that to say that you can actually use a PC. My PC, I could put a Decklink card in it, which I will one day do. It is an i9 PC as well. It's got a GeForce 2080 Ti. That was a very expensive card when I got it. My son had a 3080 Ti. Those cards are very expensive, but they will let you do live video to it and mixing and all that stuff. So if you're going to ever use a PC or a Macintosh, you got to make sure you have the ability to do the editing and the broadcasting that you want to do, and then the monitor displays that you want to do. So keep that in mind. The nice thing about the ATEM Extreme ISO that I have in my studio, and I have two, is that they have two HDMI outs, and that's all being done inside the ATEM Mini Extreme, and then I split those throughout my studio. I have one there. I can change that to anything on my screen. So if I'm doing Zoom, that monitor that I'm looking at right there could be my PC desktop. So I could be talking to you on Zoom and see your face. I could have just you up there. I could have you and I up there, or a whole bunch of people up there. So I keep my eye on the camera. I can put whatever I want back here from my Extreme ISO. So it's got a matrix built in. So I literally can go up here to my matrix and change what's on that output. That's output number 1 out of my HDMI out 1 out of my ATEM. So I can change it with the matrix on my keyboard. So there's camera 2. So I'm going through each of the channels. Some of those are dead, but there you go. So I could even go multi-view, or I could do program out right from the front of the ATEM, and I usually have multi-view up there, as you guys well know. So that doesn't change what's on my monitor up here, because the monitor up there, and it's also on my other camera right here, that I can change as well with output number 2. And I'll show you guys where output number 2 is as we wrap things up tonight and get ready to go good night. Is output 2 is up here on our outputs on the top of the screen. Go to output number 2, and you're going to watch. This is staying the same, but I'm going to change what's in that camera, which you're going to see here in a minute. So let's go to my HyperDeck, And so now I'm looking at what's on my hyperdeck. So if I go back to me and the logo, then you can see that it's got my video that I played for you guys. So if I hit play on my hyperdeck, now I'm showing that video. So again, having the ability to control what is in these monitors, to me, is super, super important. So I can put whatever camera I want up there in the display, and you can see the edge of camera. This is actually camera B now. This is my 5D Mark IV. I've moved it over here, and I'm using my EOS R, and I can actually record 4K from this camera. If I want to do a training video, I can record 4K into my hyperdeck. It will record 4K 30 frames per second. So again, so that's it I have for tonight. Let's put the logo. Why is my logo not up there? It should be. What is going on? Just hit my, yeah, what did I do? Logo's in the live stream, but usually, oh, I'm not on program out. There we, no, multi-view. Let's switch this. What did I do? Playing with my matrix here. EOS R, it needs to be program out. Yeah, so I put program out in my monitors so I know exactly what I have live. So I want to see what you see. So my logo is right here in my view. I had changed this monitor output to camera 2, and there was no logo, but program out gives me logo. So 2 HDMI outs is super important when you're trying to do different things in the studio. So if you want to do Zoom and you don't want to live stream, then make sure you get some Blackmagic Design device that has more than one HDMI out, so that you can choose what you want to go to your confidence monitors, and also you could have multi-view back here and over here if you wanted it. So by just splitting it. So, okay. Any other last final things you'd like to say before the 2 hours live stream is up? Because it's almost 6 o'clock and I'm going to go make some dinner and relax, because I have been going since about 6:15 this morning. So again, I will be back again live next Tuesday. You never know what we're going to talk about. I may have some footage from the tent, may have some footage of me running live sound, probably pretty sure. And I may even do some video editing, video out there on my A10 Mini Pro recording, so that we can upload it on Facebook for the people later. So I may be taking a camera on one of those nights and doing a couple recordings. I'm not going to have a camera there every night. So tomorrow night is going to be me just doing sound. A bunch of youth are coming together for Wednesday nights, a youth focus. Thursday nights, young adults. And then Thursday or Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights at 6:30 in Connell, Washington are going to be adult bilingual events. So I will probably record one of those for that local group of people in Connell, so they have a good quality recording with good quality audio, which means I will be mixing audio from the PreSonus 32SC for live stream, for live recording. So that's a whole nother mix to do it right. So that will be very fun to see if I can pull that off. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I want to pop right back here in the chat just to make sure I have not missed anything. So you're welcome, Tony. See if the chat's got anything I've missed over here. Yep, that's it. Looks like that's the last chat. Appreciate that. Appreciate you guys being with me tonight. I hope that you enjoyed tonight's live stream, learning more about the Blackmagic Design Camera app, talking a little bit more about the Blackmagic Design things that they came out with. We didn't even cover all of those. I do want to talk more about the streaming bridge in a future video, and that update. I have not updated my streaming bridge yet, but I will be doing that this week. So Tuesday night, we'll probably talk about the new features in the streaming bridge, as well as I'll have some footage from that event in Connell. And we probably talk about more Blackmagic Design things, as well as we may even do some footage from mixing for a live stream from the PreSonus 32SC. We'll see. I am Keith. This is Live Journey Production Studios, and I will see you guys in the next live stream. Watch for the Bigfoot Northwest North American Bigfoot Research Center video on my channel, and I hope you guys will like that and share that video as well if you're into Bigfoot. So if not, then just enjoy life. We will see you in the next video. Peace. Roll. Why is it not rolling?